everybody, Lisa Strickland here. How are you today? So today we're cooking for autoimmune, but we're cooking with, to do some thoughts and gatherings together for our kids going back to school very shortly. And if you're anything like me, you've been picking up book packs and everything this week. So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually worked in your school's tuck shop, if you have one, but it can be a little bit confronting, and especially when you're doing what I do and you're trying to improve people's health, to go into tuck shop and work in the tuck shop sometimes can really, sort of put you in a bit of a spin, because unfortunately, a lot of the tuck shops are not serving foods that are conducive to assisting our young people to really be able to think and to function well without, having their sugar highs and lows all the time. And this is the thing, sugar is so embedded in our society that we don't think about, or people normally just don't think about the fact that the foods that they're supplying in school canteens are not actually great for, having your children sitting there learning, and especially after lunch. You've got kids that are either coming in after lunch that are zooming around like crazy because they've had all this sugar, and then they crash at about 2 o'clock and they don't function properly. And the teachers are wondering why they're dealing with all of these different, behavioural problems. And so what I wanted to do today was to talk about a few things in regards to, different things that you can do. Because no matter what you're going to do at home, in most instances it's going to be a lot better than anything that you're going to get out of the school tuck shop, except for maybe a fruit salad if they supply that sort of thing. Okay, so remember that this is cooking for autoimmune, so I'm still looking after kids in that respect as well, because things like celiac disease is a really big issue and is becoming bigger and bigger all the time. Okay, so what we need to be doing is reducing the amount of wheat our young people are eating, because celiac disease are being diagnosed in children that have just started eating that sort of thing, down to, kids that have been on it for a long time. And then you have people that have intolerances to it. And those sort of things and symptoms of those sort of things is a lot. You'll find your kids are really gassy and, a lot of wind, a lot of bellyache, and they are usually intolerances, whereas celiac is you have a lot more serious issues, including anaphylaxis, that you can deal with, that sort of thing. So, I've got a few things together before I start cooking. So, there's lots of different lunch boxes that you can get, and this one actually my husband bought for himself, and it has a big area in the bottom part so that you could put, a really nice salad with quinoa, that sort of thing. And this is also the thing, you're working around your children's likes and dislikes as well. So, if you're making them some sort of a salad, try and pop a little bit of quinoa in there. It doesn't have to be a lot, just put a tablespoon in and see how they go. It's adding a little bit of extra protein to their food, which will also really give them that boost of energy that they require, especially after lunch. Okay, so then on top, we've got this little container that's divided up. So here I've just put some grapes and some chopped up apple and some strawberries. Now I have got some almonds on this side, which is really great, but that all depends on your school. So if your school is a nut-free school, especially mostly junior schools, once you hit high school, they then allow children to have it, because they're old enough to be able to understand each other's intolerances and stay away from each other. So then you can look at something else. Some schools are just peanut free, so you're able to do the almonds, you can do pecans, you can do, what else have I got here, cashews, walnuts, everything that you can think of. So, you know, all of those things are great for your kids to snack on, and we'll fill them up pretty quickly as well. Now, the other thing I've got here is some hummus. Now, you can either make this or you can buy it. And I've got this little sandwich keeper, Tupperware sandwich keeper with a little container here that I put the lid on, and I put the hummus in there with the lid on. And in around there, I've just got carrots and celery sticks. Now, if you want to put some rice crackers or things in there, well, I would put them aside with a bag or something, because otherwise they're going to get all soft, of course. So that's another idea that's really good for morning tea or lunch. It just depends on how much your children eat at school. Some kids tend to eat more when they get home and they have, you know, all these sort of snacky things. Now, one thing, sweet-wise. Now, whatever sweet-wise you cook at home, if you can reduce the sugar in it and watch what you're cooking with, is always going to be better. Now, just before Christmas, I showed you my cookies, which are made from rice flour, okay? So they're chocolate chip cookies. Now, this morning I whipped up some brownies. Now, these brownies, according to my daughter, are amazing. And she's 14, so that gives you a little bit of an idea. Now, one of the main ingredients in this is chickpeas, believe it or not. So lots and lots of protein in here and goodness from the chickpeas. So you've got a bit of almond flour in there. So if you do have a nut-free zone, there are other, you can substitute it for say a bit of quinoa flour or something similar. If you want to know, just send me a message under this video and I can give you a few suggestions as what to change it with. But this is an amazing recipe, and lots of cacao in there, and some, you know, just really yummy, moist, very dense and chocolatey, which most kids are looking for, you know, especially, you know, after working in tuck shop. It's really interesting. Kids are really, doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold, they love their chocolate. So if you can produce something that is a lot healthier for them to eat, then that's going to be, you know, really, really great for them. So, so today what I was going to do is actually whip up a fried rice. Now, over the years, I have done all sorts of things for my kids for lunches. Now, it all depends on whether you like to prepare at night time. So if you're making, if you're going to go down the basmati brown rice, okay, so I mainly use basmati brown rice. The other day I did a quick thing and grabbed just some normal basmati because because I was in a hurry, because this needs to soak, okay, for about 3 hours. So I don't know if any of you have experienced that, and there you go. The brown rice, basmati brown rice, has a brown coating on the outside, okay, and that's going to stop any sugar peaks and sugar highs. So my kids have gotten really used to this. It is not like brown rice, okay? You know how hard brown rice is, okay? Basmati brown rice is not. So you soak it at least 3 hours. So I put it in on the pot, on the stove, just in the pot with water in it, on a cold stove in the morning. And then I rinse it all off in the afternoon before I cook it, and then cook it up 20 minutes, the same. And it is not hard. It is it's just nice and light and fluffy as well. So really use this because it's just so much better for them. It's not going to give them those sugar highs, okay? And those carbohydrate highs. So what we're going to do here is I've got my rice, which I've already cooked. So you can cook it the night before if you like to be organized, or on the weekend if you're doing things during the week, okay? Then I just get chopped up some broccoli, chopped up some capsicum and some shallots, some mushrooms if your kids like mushrooms, and I always have peas and corn in the freezer. So I got some peas and corn out. So I'm just going to whip this up and show you how easy it is, okay? It just literally takes you 5 minutes because you're not doing large quantities. And the thing is also, if you have a meal during the week where you've cooked something that has rice with it, any leftover rice takes you 5 minutes and you whip this up and it's done, you know? So I'm just going to turn on the stove. Now what I do is I actually use sesame oil because it gives it that nice Chinese restaurant flavour that most kids like. Okay, so we'll let that, I'll just turn this off so you don't have that extra noise going on in the background. But the other thing that you can do while that's heating up, I'll just talk to you about some other things. The other thing that's really good, and you know, I know a lot of you have always sort of sent your kids with sandwiches, and we really need to start moving away from that wheat in that respect and constantly having it. It's really, really bad for your gut. It really becomes real sludgy in your stomach. It's bad for your gut bacteria. And so we really need to start mixing it up a little bit for our kids, okay? They're going to be very used to eating bread. So because, you know, we've already started them down that trail. So, but if you can intermingle it with other things, then you're going to find that they'll slowly, with my children, they've slowly sort of moved away from that and they eat other things that they enjoy better. And this is the thing, it's all about bringing in, as I say, new habits for them. So, you know, some of these really nice crisp breads are really great for putting on. Now, if you're in a school, you can have peanut butter, a nice natural peanut butter, or, you know, even still your Vegemite on your Promites and things like that, you can put on all of these sort of things. Now, the good thing about these corn ones is, you know, that because it's an organic range, that it's GMO or genetically modified friendly, okay? So it's GMO free. Okay, and then, you know, you can do your hummus and your other things, and if you want to, you can always give them some organic corn chips, you know. You are dealing with your kids here, you know. If it was you and I and we're watching what we're eating, then we wouldn't have those. But for your children and for school, the convenience for it, and if you're buying good quality food, then it's great. You know, these are really good. These are these corn thins, any sort of, it doesn't matter what brand they are, and they're an organic corn thin, is really good because they taste like popcorn, and so kids love them. So that's something that you can use instead of using, you know, any products that have wheat in them. So that's really good. All right, so I can smell that that nice sesame oil. All right, so first I'm going to fry up the shallots and the capsicum. Okay, I'm just going to throw this in, and we're going to get right on the thing here, and we're just going to whiz this up. I actually like to leave things a little bit. I put the broccoli in because the broccoli needs to cook a little bit. I'm actually going to put a lid on there, and so that gives the broccoli a bit of a chance to steam as well. Okay, so the broccoli steams a little bit and cooks through. Okay, so the mushrooms are usually the last thing I put in. Now with mushrooms, don't use raw mushrooms. Try and, even if you just slightly heat them up, because they have an enzyme in them that's not great for your gut. So if you can just heat them up slightly, that actually dissipates that, and it's great. Because mushrooms are amazing for you. They are so good for you. You know, they have so many different things that they're talking about with women and breast cancer, that it really, they do have found in studies that it helps reduce the breast cancer and also reoccurrence, which is amazing to know. All right, so I'm going to put the peas and corn in now. Just put the lid back on there. Now, so with your soy sauces, I use a wheat-free soy sauce. This is a tamari. There are a couple of brands, and I did notice the Chinese brands in the Chinese section in the supermarket are coming out with organic soy sauce and organic wheat-free soy sauce. And the organic soy sauce is better because it is GMO-free. Okay, the other ones you just don't know whether they're GMO free or not. So I try as much as possible to be aware of what I'm eating in that respect, because genetically modified seeds and any products that come from it really do interfere with your gut health and has been linked a lot to autoimmune issues. So we're always thinking about, you know, keeping everything under control in our bodies, and also, you know, getting everything back so that we can put ourselves into remission and keep our kids healthy. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we are looking after them as well. It's, you know, this journey, if we've had children, you know, we're taking them along with us. So it's really good to use the opportunity to teach them how to, you know, eat mindfully and really thinking about what they're putting in their mouth. Okay, so I'm going to pop the rice in now, and I'll put the mushrooms in. Put the mushrooms in first. So, you know, I've just done that so that the peas and everything work. Okay, I'm going to turn that down a little bit, and I'm actually going to put just a little bit more. I didn't put on very much of that sesame oil in. So mix that up so that the mushrooms get a bit of heat to them. Just give that a couple more minutes. And so, I'll see if I can bring that to you, see if we can see what's going on there. So you have all your veggies in there, okay, cooking away. So if you do have a pan that's just slightly a little bit deeper than normal, is really good, okay? So we're going to move that around. So now, sometimes I pull out the rice, the vegetables, and sometimes not. But what I'm going to do is just put the rice in there, and that will keep the rice up, okay? And just get that going. And then I'll mix the veggies through. The fact of the matter is it doesn't really need to be hot unless you're sending it with your children, sending it in some sort of a container that will keep it warm, okay? So then what I do is I actually put my soy sauce in there, and you get your kids to try it because it gives them a bit of excitement as well, and you get your children to try the flavour until it is what you want it to be. Okay, or what they want it to be, I should say. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that to the side because I'll taste that a bit later and make sure that that's how we like it to have it. Okay, so there you have, you know, what's that taken us? 5 minutes to whip up a fried rice. So it is just something different for the kids. It's it's really healthy for them to be eating. They're getting some vegetables in there rather than just always having those sandwiches that are really, you know, just, they're not actually filling them up. They're creating a lot of you know, sugars in their body, unfortunately, because the carbohydrate in, especially white breads and things, are going to turn into sugars. So that's going to help them to really have a good afternoon at school rather than sort of being up and down. It's going to fill the void, and it's really going to give them the energy they require to think, you know. So there's lots of different things that you can think of. I have actually put together a little handout with lots of different ideas and a few recipes. So if anybody is interested in that, please pop in a yes below and I'll contact you, and I can organize that for you. So there you have a few simple ideas for your children and for you to get back into a routine once the kids are back at school and starting to, you know, really eat well for your autoimmune, and also to keep your kids healthy and you know, really enjoying school and being alert and getting the most out of their day. So take care, and I will see you on our next Cooking Live. Bye.